Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the M&K Productions Podcast. I'm your host, Mac, joined here as usual with my co-host, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. Kristen, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, but again, I'm sad. How are you?
I'm doing okay. We record this podcast with heavy news because of the day of this recording, February 16th, we have tragically lost actor Robert Duvall at the age of 95. Rest in peace to an absolute legend, man. That actually news broke probably I'd say probably 6 hours ago at the time of this
Yeah,
recording. Robert Duvall, he's in such films like The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, Falling Down, Lonesome Dove, The Judge, any type of film that has been iconic in these like 70 years that he's been doing films, he's had a hand in it.
he lived a very long time, and you named all the classics that he's been in, and I'm sad that he's gone. This has just been a sad month, or I should say, last few weeks for iconic celebrities and actors passing because of Catherine O'Hara and uh, whatchamacallit, James Vanderbeek. So not looking good.
Yeah,
Not
you
looking good, but
can't live
hopefully
forever, but you make the memories of what they left behind. And that's what we're gonna do today, because on this special episode, we're gonna be talking about the late Rob Reiner, one of his most iconic, probably his most iconic film, and that's Stand By Me, the film that launched 1,000 careers, and it's probably the best Stephen King
one of the
adaptation.
best. One of the best
Um,
in my opinion.
but we're gonna talk about that, our experiences of it, what we think about this film as its own thing. We're gonna talk about some other news, and we're gonna talk about what's coming up next in this podcast. So, Kristen, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to roll.
All right, here we go. Let's get right into the news.
No.
This is CNN.
All right, so the news to start this episode off, I got a news story because this is about Dan Trachtenberg. And there's rumors that he is down to come back for another Cloverfield movie. So, as many as you
Ooh.
remember, Dan Trachtenberg, he did his directorial debut with 10 Cloverfield Lane, the one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Goodman, John Gallagher Jr. Super great film, probably the best Cloverfield movie, even though it's not
Mm-hmm.
Cloverfield. It's 10 years old now because I remember when that came out. Because I remember the trailer came out like around March, and then
Yeah.
like by April, no, the trailer dropped in February, and then by March or April, the movie was already out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it was great. It was suspenseful. Ending is still a little, iffy. I've talked about the ending of 10 Cloverfield Lane being ugh. But I think if he wants to come back for a Cloverfield there, because they are talking about doing another Cloverfield movie, I think I'm down for it. I think they are making another Cloverfield movie. Let me
I
see.
thought they were.
The last Cloverfield movie we had was Cloverfield Paradox, even though that was the God particle, and that
That was the
was
Netflix one, right?
yeah, that was
And that
truly
came out like right, and that came premiered right after the Super Bowl. What a way to.
yep, the Eagles versus Patriots, and the
Mm-hmm.
hype was like, oh, we're gonna we're gonna drop this movie right after Super Bowl, and hey, I'll give them credit. That's how you do it. And then it sucked, and then but yeah, we're getting another movie, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. J.J. Abrams is back as producer, so that horrifies me. But Dan Trachtenberg, he says he's down to come back. Kristen, do you like Cloverfield?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I enjoy it.
Does it
I
make
don't
you
have like
vomit?
no.
I have a funny
Unfortunately,
story.
no.
I have a funny story. I was watching the first Cloverfield with family members a few years ago, and they almost vomited because of the motion sickness.
Oh no.
This movie Cloverfield is not for the weak of heart, especially with the motion sickness.
Yeah, I can agree. It's not like a film I could definitely show my parents. I feel like they would not be interested in that. But there's an audience for it. I'm down for the Cloverfield, but I don't have a strong attachment like most people have, but it's good. So I don't really have a problem with it. I think the biggest issue is the paradox one. So
Well,
like
Paradox was originally the God movie called God Particle,
hmm
and it had nothing to do with Cloverfield. So they said, okay, J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Company got a hold of it, and they said, okay, we're gonna like just retweak this, make it a little bit about Cloverfield, and it have some ties in it, and then boom, and it just didn't work out, and it's
what?
no, I just say, oh God, like that movie, it was just
Oh, I was like,
no,
I was like
and
waiting for an answer. I
the
was like,
only
did
reason
something?
only reason it connects to Cloverfield is literally the last shot when you see the Clover monster um pop out and be like, "Ah!" It's like, oh my God.
Well, at least fans have something to look forward to that. But I do have a fan favorite movie. Well, disappointing fan movie news. This comes exclusively from Collider, and Face Off 2 director exits, leaving sequel in tough spot.
Do we really need a sequel?
No, but I thought this would be fun to talk about because this involves one of our favorites, Nicolas Cage.
You damn
The,
right.
the long-awaited Face Off sequel just hit a major turning point. While reuniting Nicolas Cage and John Travolta remains a priority for the studio, the project will continue to extend development cycle following the departure of the filmmaker who had been attached for nearly 5 years.
Mm.
Collider can exclusively report that Adam Wingard is no longer set to direct the follow-up to the 1997 action classic. The sequel has now been converted into an open directing assignment at Paramount Pictures, allowing filmmakers to pitch their own take, develop of the project, and potentially shepherd it into production. Adam Wingard previously described the sequel as a full steam ahead while promoting Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire in 2024, calling the script he provided amazing. But between his packed schedule and the length of time things were taking, it appears the studio has opted to open the door for fresh creative voices. So,
That's
what do
just
you think about
that's
Adam
it.
leaving?
It doesn't surprise me because he has a full schedule because he's not working on the next Godzilla versus Kong movie, but then he's still doing. I think they're doing Death Note 2. He's got a new movie coming out. This is post production, Onslaught, and he probably has some. I think he's working on something else as well
Wait, are
too.
they really making a Death Note too?
Yeah, they announced that like years ago.
I don't think they're doing that anymore at Netflix because of the disaster that was Death Note.
I
So,
mean, you said it was a disaster, but it had high viewership. And I'm looking at it right now. It says sequel in April on August 22nd. Reported a sequel's in development with Greg Russo writing the script.
oh my God, yeah. Okay, I have to
So,
tell my husband this, and he's gonna freak out and just be like, absolutely not.
but Adam Wingard, he's definitely a busy man. So, once you got something that's kind of it looks like Face Off 2 because I remember like God, I'm 26 now. They've been talking about Face Off sequel since at least 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, this might be something we might never get. This might be like a Men in Black 3 situation where it's like it just all the
Hmm.
development and stuff like that. Because it's like, hey, who wants to do that? And everyone's busy. Travolta's probably busy. Nicolas Cage is definitely busy. We got Spider Noir coming out, which looks fucking awesome. Um,
Hmm.
and then
It does.
they're really get a director to sit down and say, hey, you want to do a sequel to Face Off? Like, what can you continue with that story? Like, I thought it was pretty wrapped up in the first movie. But I don't
They
know.
just want to please the fans, but if Nicolas Cage is involved, I'm watching. That's the only thing. But yeah, that's
I
my first piece of news. What are you gonna say?
I don't know what's gonna happen with him now. But my next big piece of news is that Wuthering Heights is fucking bombing at the box office.
I don't think so.
Or it's fucking bombing with the critics and
Yeah, that's what it
audiences.
is.
So, Emerald Fennell, who made the film, we'll call it, of our time called Saltburn, whether you like Saltburn or not, that's up to you. Um, Wuthering Heights is kind of
It's a movie.
split.
I saw it. It's a
It's split
movie.
in the half. My boy Jeremy Johns, he gave it a you're not gonna remember it in T minus a couple days. Currently, right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it is sitting at a 61% critic score, but 79% audience score. I'm looking at its box office reports right now because it has been out for about, I'd say like a week now.
No, it
It's
came out Friday.
so
So,
about like almost a couple days now. So February
yeah.
13th it came out. His budget is $80 million. At the report of this is made 83 million. So it still got some ways before it breaks even. But you saw this, right?
Yes, I did. I saw it
Was it
yesterday,
good?
Sunday. I will give the movie this. The music, awesome. I think that's the best part about this adaptation. Um,
I've
I
heard a
like the
lot of stuff
production
recently.
design
I
is
said,
very good.
have you read the book?
Yeah, I just finished reading it.
Does it? I know the one thing I've
No, it
heard.
does not do the adaptation
I
well.
was gonna say that's the one thing I've heard. It's like everyone that's like, because I've never read the books, I don't know the story, so I have no dog in this fight. But
I
when
just
I
think it would have been better if Emerald just took inspiration, made, Wuthering Heights, you know, what her own, maybe take inspiration from other films and whatever, and make her own story. But my God, it's like the Citizen Kane for 50 Shades of Grey.
that is a sentence I never thought I'd hear. Those combination of words. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I mean,
I
there's
heard.
so much food innuendo with eggs and you'll see if you ever decide to watch it, Mac, you'll see it's like they have a prank going back and forth between Heathcliff and Catherine.
Mhm.
And then there's like a scene where Margaret just takes her finger and like there's a fish in jello. She sticks her finger in it in its mouth.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's really weird. And I'm just like, I was
I
with my friends and we were all like, what's happening?
I
Like,
heard that the one thing I heard is that Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie are miscast. Like they
I
should cast
think
someone else.
I think he is fine, but I just think they're miscast by 1,000%. Like, there's some kind of chemistry between the two of them,
You know who they
but
should have
it's
gotten?
who should they have gotten?
Joey King to get a Kissing Booth reunion.
Oh, this is the kissing booth reunion that we
Y-
maybe didn't need.
yes, in Wuthering Heights, they both excelled. They've escaped. They
I was
went back
talking
in
to one
time.
of my friends about it, and we were like, oh, because we were brought up kissing booth. And we're like,
Yes,
the way that this man has come
thank
all the
God.
way through cinema, and I mean, the man's now an Oscar nominated actor, which we'll talk about when we do our Oscar episode, but it's
And
amazing.
never say never.
Yeah, never
In
say never with Jacob Elordi and the kissing booth.
but I've heard some mixed things of it, so we'll see how it does overall. This will Emerald Fennell or
Fennell?
Fennell.
Fennell.
Emerald Fennell is like having a very interesting career. I've never seen a director that has had back-to-back divisive movies because people love
Promising
it.
Young Woman is like the movie. It
Oh yeah,
is
that's the one
so
movie.
freaking good. I
But then like
love it.
Saltburn is divisive, and now Wuthering Heights is divisive. Like you're either gonna love those two movies or you're gonna hate those two movies. So I have no idea. Like I will always say, like, "Hey, Promising Young Woman, really good," and then the other is like, "Oh,
The Promising Young Woman is genius. Saltburn, it's like, okay, what's going on here? And then Heights is like, what direction did we obviously take? We took the wrong turn, Emeralds. Like, we got to go back on course because it's not going well. But no, production design's good, costume design is good, but does it remind me of 1771? No, from what I've read in history books
well, you know."
and learned in school. It's not what I saw. Like they have these like weird statues of like hands or something that's on a wall.
Mhm.
And like it's something. Like what I picture this is like Emerald's take fine, but I don't know. Like there's so and the thing that Wuthering Heights doesn't have going for it is likable people. There's
That's
like
what I've heard.
there's no one likable in this story at all between Heathcliff, between Catherine, between Edgar, and between Nellie. Like I don't like anybody. I was talking to this with some people, and they all mostly people agree that there's not one likable person in Wuthering Heights. So yeah, I don't know why I subjected to it because I was like, oh, it's gonna be taking inspiration from the movie, but nothing from the movie takes inspiration. Like they cut characters. They do like this is the most I've seen like take it, not honor it justice. And I would
You're
just
the
say in my
expert
opinion.
when it comes to these book adaptation movies that are Would Be Kid because you've talked about this one. You talked about some of the Colleen Hoover books. Like you're the expert to talk to.
Yeah, and the next book, guys, I'm gonna read will be Project Hail Mary. So I'm hoping,
And
but
we're
I
gonna be
already know
live this
about
set.
the
I'm gonna be live this Saturday talking about our favorite space movies, and that it's inspired by Project Hail Mary.
hell yeah, hell
And you're
yeah.
gonna read the Odyssey next, right?
I don't know. I already had one complicated text. I don't know if I can do another. So, but I am one of the other adaptations I did read that just came out was Cold Storage, and that was really fun. I think
Hmm.
that was the most faithful to the adaptation. If you want to talk about faithful adaptation, look at Cold Storage because it's written and Uh,
Oh, the one with Joe Keery and Liam Neeson?
yes, and it's written by the guy who wrote Jurassic Park, Mission Impossible, who just worked on Disclosure Day, and he wrote the screenplay and the book. So if you want to talk about faithful, they just only made a few changes to the movie that made the book better, but not the book better, but the movie better.
We gotta do another episode. Did we do a book adaptation episode or no? Because
We haven't.
I remember the podcast before you came on. The solo podcast I did, I talked about some book adaptation films, and I think I'd want to redo that. We can talk about some of the best and some of the worst.
Oh yeah,
Because
we can do that.
there's so many, I think I talked about The Snowman, the one with Michael Fassbender that came
Oh,
out.
I didn't read that. Did you read that?
Oh, I read the book. The book's awesome, and the movie's just terrible.
That's what I also heard. That's like the
Uh,
same thing I've heard people say about the woman on the train,
mhm.
the girl on the train, whatever. Because I saw the movie, I never got to read the book, but then I was like, everyone's like, the book is so good, they didn't do the movie justice.
But
So that's kind of
what's
sad.
what's your last piece of news?
Okay, so we can either talk about SpongeBob
Nice, speaking my language. I got me interested.
or it's like simple news, or I would like to honor said person after this, but we'll talk about SpongeBob. All
SpongeBob,
right.
yes.
All right. Here we go. Coming from Deadline. The SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants will begin streaming on Paramount tomorrow, February 17th. The service now announced today. Search for SquarePants is the fourth theatrical film based on the children's cartoon. In the film, SpongeBob and his bikini bottom friends set sail in the biggest, yellowest, and most slide. What is it? What is this word? Okay. A splittingly hilarious, all new, can't miss cinematic event ever. As of February 17th, the film will be available in the US and Canada, and additional Paramount Plus markets will be announced on a later date. The synopsis continues. Desperate to be a big guy, SpongeBob sets out to prove his bravery to Mr. Krabs by following the Flying Dutchman, a mysterious swashbuckling ghost pirate, on a seafaring comedy adventure that takes him to the deepest depths of this deep sea where no sponge has gone before. So, Mac,
I love SpongeBob, man. The fact that we've gotten four movies now is just absolutely crazy.
people love the SpongeBob. I'm not a fan, but do you know what? If people love the SpongeBob and they keep making money like it did, then by all means, SpongeBob is not
Well,
hurting anybody, so
the
it's fine.
craziest thing about it was that the new one came out during December. December was pretty stacked because we had,
Yeah.
Avatar, and I forgot what else came out. Oh, Marty Supreme.
Housemaid,
Yep, Marty
well, Song
Supreme.
Song Blue, yeah, a whole bunch of
Um,
stuff.
but I guess with SpongeBob, it has that name power still because the original one was supposed to be the series finale, which I still think that the original one is the best movie. But even all the ones that come after it, some of them are okay. I think that the original movie has a great song, Ocean Man. The 2015 one had that song by there, like, yeah, play with us before we melt. Yeah, everybody enjoy yourself. And then we had this one with Ice Spice. I was like, oh God, please kill me.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that's this one where she wrote the
yep,
SpongeBob and she's in it, and everybody's doing this TikTok dance now. It goes like SpongeBob, big guy. I'm like, oh my
hang
God, get
myself.
this
Yeah.
off.
But I'm happy SpongeBob is still kicking. I know that the second longest Nickelodeon show, The Loud House, just ended, or it's ending with season 11. So
Oh, is
SpongeBob's
it?
just yeah. So SpongeBob is still the longest running Nickelodeon show. So I wonder if we're gonna get another movie with it coming out because you listen to Tom Kenny's voice, he's starting to kind of lose that SpongeBob ism in his voice a little bit, especially with the singing.
Okay.
But we'll see because I think that this one actually did really well at the box office.
I'm not sure what the box office return was.
SpongeBob: The Search for SquarePants. Play with us before we melt. Yeah, everybody enjoy yourself. Yeah, and
Who's
don't
your
forget
favorite SpongeBob character, really quickly?
SpongeBob.
Of course.
It made $165 million worldwide out of its $64 million budget.
Hey, okay.
So
Good to
it
know.
did really, really well. And then don't forget that they have their spin-off movies on Netflix. Last year we had we
What's
actually got
new?
two movies. We got Plankton the movie and then Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie in 2024.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember the Plankton one, but totally forgot the other ones that came out.
And then the last one we had was Sponge on the Run in 2021.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's just crazy. I did not think that this movie would make so much money. So, hey, good on SpongeBob for kicking. That really shows you that. Actually, they did a study that they said 25% of people that watch SpongeBob now have no kids.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So
That's funny.
take that with what you will.
Okay, but that's the piece of news I have. But I do want to say something real quick. Yesterday was the Film Independent Spirit Awards. But the big prize for the Independent Spirit Awards went to Train Dreams, directed by Bentley, who we had on the podcast years ago. So congratulations to him. It won a few other awards, including the cinematography, and I can't find the other award. Oh yeah, Best Feature went to Train Dreams. Best Director, Clint Bentley for Train Dreams, and then also won the cinematography. So congratulations to Train Dreams, Clint Bentley. You always continue to impress us, and we're happy to see you continue your winning streak, and we'll see you at the Oscars.
Yeah, you got nominated. That's awesome. That's a juggernaut this year. So congratulations on the award. But that's gonna do it for the news section. If you got any news for us, make sure you drop it down in the comments below or send us the email with that. But let's get right into the topic and let's talk about Stand By Me.
Oh man, where do you hear this?
8 o'clock.
What is it, man? You guys want to go see a dead body?
Columbia Pictures presents
Kid's gone. They're never gonna find him. Not where they're looking.
a Rob Reiner film.
I'm never gonna get out of this town now, my Gordy. You can do anything you want, man.
Stand By Me.
There's 4 of us, Eyeball. You just make your move. You're dead.
All right, so the topic today, we're going to be going back to 1986 in loving memory of Rob Reiner, who tragically passed away with his wife back in December of last year. We planned this episode for a while. We just got backed up everything. We want to honor him by talking about his most iconic film work and kind of like, not only is it considered one of the best Stephen King adaptation movies of all time, but it's actually considered like one of the like definitive 80s movies. Just people said the 80s were like the golden era for movies.
Mm-hmm.
And with that is Stand By Me. It is based on the Stephen King 1982 novella The Body, which is set in the fictional town of Castle Rock, Oregon, so not in Maine, which I'm surprised about.
Mm-hmm.
It's like usually every Stephen King book is in Maine. And it stars Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell. And Jerry O'Connell as 4 boys who set out on the journey to find the dead body of a missing boy. And of course, the title "Stand By Me" comes from the Benny King song 1961, which like you mentioned, came out before the movie, like almost 20 plus years before this movie. "Stand By Me," probably the most iconic like film of the 80s, I'd say. I
It's
grew
one
up.
of the iconic ones. Yes, go ahead.
Considering, Rob Reiner, legendary director, the cast here is just crazy. Like some young guns who will go on to do great things. Will Wheaton, who would be in Star Trek, River Phoenix before he passed away, was really killing it and would have had an amazing career. Even like from the work he did, he's kind of like the James Dean of the 80s, I'd say.
Definitely.
Corey, oh, go ahead.
No, definitely. I was agreeing with you on that.
Oh yeah, Corey Feldman, who'd go on to be in Friday the 13th, The Gremlins, The Goonies, of course, Stand By, all those classic 80s movie. And then Jerry O'Connell, as we know from Kangaroo Jack. No, I'm joking, I love Kangaroo
Yeah,
Jack.
Kangaroo Jack, The
Thank you.
Talk when he was on, and Scream 2.
Yes. And then Kiefer Sutherland is here in the supporting role as well too. So a lot of people that would just go on to do some great, great things. And man, it's this movie is very deep. That's like
It's a deep film for a coming of age story. It's kind of like on the same levels as like, I know they're two different stories, but like The Outsiders, where
I
it's like
never
coming of age stories. Did you ever see The Outsiders?
I have not watched it completely because when I was in school, one of my the older English classes read the book and they saw the movie, and I walked in because I was cool with the teacher, and I walked in like near the end of the movie, so I saw the ending, but I never saw the beginning.
Oh, it's so good. But like if we're talking like 80s coming of age stories, that is one of them. But I have to agree, this is one of the best not Stephen King's, that I meant to say Rob Reiner adaptations, because Rob Reiner was
No
known.
Stephen King adaptations, not Rob.
Well, I was gonna say
Oh,
I
okay,
said Stephen King, but I meant to say Rob Reiner.
okay.
So I was gonna go in and say that Rob Reiner knew how, well, I shouldn't say this. I should say this. Okay. he was great at genre hopping. He
Yes.
did drama, he did romance, he did horror, he did, political movies. Not, and I want to say once we hit the 2000s, not all of the films were great, even when he did stuff in like the 2010s and stuff. Like
Hmm.
he had some, you know, not so many great films before he was sadly taken from us. And, the best are the stuff that he was working on in the 80s and 90s between Stand By Me, When Harry Met Salary, Sally, Misery,
Misery.
Few Good Men. And I'll give it back. I will say this. The only 2000 film that I actually will give some credit and I don't mind watching, it's Rumor Has It with Jennifer Aniston.
I like you
So
said the bucket list. I like the bucket list.
okay, yeah, some people do like the bucket list. I remember that being heavily advertised when I was a kid, and I was like, "What is this movie with Morgan Freeman
And Jack
and
Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson?" But I was like, remember hearing the John Mayer song that was being advertised in the trailer, so I was like, "Okay, I get you, John Mayer, being in this movie." But yes, going into Stand By Me, iconic performances that we would get from these young child actors. And I do want to bring up a quote that was said by Will Wheaton. Where is it? It's in the casting. I saw this quote, and it says, Rob Reiner found four young boys who were the characters that we played. This is coming from Will Wheaton. I was the awkward and nerdy and shy and uncomfortable in my skin and sensitive. And River was cool and smart and passionate. And even at that age, kind of like a father figure to some of us. Jerry was one of the funniest people I had ever seen in my life, either before or since, and Corey was unbelievably angry and incredible amount of pain and had a terrible relationship with his parents. So you could tell that based on the casting choices, everything was so perfect. So I really liked that about this movie and just seeing the connections, how each character was perfectly, assigned to that. But I
Hmm.
didn't know this. Uh, Ethan Hawke auditioned for Stand By Me.
Wow.
Would you imagine like Ethan Hawke? Because he was auditioning to play a character named well, I should say he was auditioning to play Chris, who was River Phoenix. So I think they did a good job of casting River Phoenix in that role. But it's interesting to see that this happens over the course of Labor Day weekend, and the kids just go have an adventure to find the dead body and become local heroes, which is nice. But then they find the body, and spoiler alert, this movie's over 40 years old. So, I think we could spoil this movie, right, Mac?
Huh?
I think we could spoil this movie, right,
I
Mac?
mean, yeah, if you ever seen this, if you ever seen Stand By Me, then you've had at least 40 plus years to see this shit.
Uh,
Yeah. They find the
the
body, for fuck's
body,
sake,
and then
yes.
it becomes like a battle of like who's going to be the local hero. It's either going to be Keith Sutherland, who I forgot was in this movie, and the four boys. So it's like gang versus gang of like who could be the local hero. And it gets nasty. I will say that because there's a gun that comes out, but eventually the boys do, excuse me, the right thing. And, they make an ominous call and they, say where the body is, but they don't call themselves the heroes. But, there's a lot of personal issues with this. It's the true story of friendship. That's what I will say. But it's sad to see like what happens to the characters, how they all just grow apart in the end after that.
Hmm.
But I guess that's the point of friendship because I think I remember seeing the line at the end of the movie where it goes, uh, it's like, aren't we all like, isn't anybody friends with like their 12-year-old friends from middle school or something like that? It was like the way that the character Gordy was writing it out. And I just thought, yeah, that's true. I'm not really friends with anybody that I was friends with when I was 12 years old anymore. So, you know, it gets deep and emotional, but I didn't cry what I thought I was going to when I saw this years ago and then rewatching it today. So,
I think it's more eerie because one of the characters, River Phoenix's character, Chris, when you're mentioning at the end, because I think when Stand By Me is one of the iconic things is the ending when Will Wheaton's character is kind of talking about he's doing the memoir because it's his older self telling the story about that summer. and it's
Hmm.
like, hey, what happening, everything and stuff like that. And they mentioned Chris he died breaking up a fight, and
Yeah,
like
he
he
got
got stabbed.
stabbed
Yeah,
in the neck.
yeah. And what's
Yeah.
eerie is that like a couple years later, River Phoenix would pass away. So then that's like, oh my God. And like out of the four characters, he's the one that passed away because they talk about Teddy, they talk about Vern. Um,
They did make some changes that were in the book because in the book that when I was doing my research, sorry to hate to spoil myself and not read the book, but the four other characters die. The three other characters die except Gordy.
I figured that was the case. I think they realized that's kind of too sad. So you should probably make it like one character dies.
Yeah. So like I was trying to find it. I can't find it now, but I want to acknowledge also the soundtrack. I enjoyed the soundtrack from Jerry Lee Lewis, Ben E. King, and
Yep, there
Buddy
you go.
Holly.
Yep.
Yeah, Shirley and Lee. I like the songs that they used. I thought the soundtrack was really great. Really captured the time.
Well, it's like definitely it's 1959, so we got Buddy Holly, Let the Good Times Roll, the Dell Vikings, the Silhouettes, the Cordettes, the Coasters, the Bobettes, and you mentioned Jerry Lee Lewis and Benny King, which actually the it charted in Australia, the Kent Music Report at 98.
Oh, dang.
So, but I think definitely this film does have, I guess it tackles the themes of growing up
Yes.
really big because it's like, they mentioned how that I think it uses the dead body, like, oh, we're gonna find this dead body, like that of we're gonna just use that as the MacGuffin of the movie. But
Hmm.
at the end, it doesn't really feel like that mattered because they've gone through this journey and they really learn expose not expose, they really like what's the word? Express themselves, because they're each of the characters going through something. I think one of the
Right.
characters mentions that, his brother died a year before
Yes.
with the car
Who is
crash.
played by John Cusack.
Yeah, that is really deep for him and like stuff for him and everything. It's like remember in It, the new one, when you could tell the kid came from like broken homes. They really were just like they found each other and made them happy and stuff like that. You could
Hmm.
kind of see the inklings of that. And I know they're both Stephen King, movies and stuff like that. Um, so it's like it works with this one because you follow them throughout the runtime. This movie clocks in about what like
It's like an
89.
hour and a half.
Yeah,
It's not that long.
it's not a long movie, but it does enough to let you get to know the characters.
Yeah, I
Uh,
completely agree. But going back to them, as kids, these kids I felt like needed to grow up fast because you see them, they're smoking, they're playing like poker. I think they just want to feel mature and old, like older, like
yeah.
because again, it's set in a small town, but I guess the circumstances that they had access to, cigarettes and, whatever. So they I felt like they needed to grow up fast. And then the body is just what, I feel like also kind of loses the sense of their youth because you can't unsee a dead body. That's
No.
something you can't unsee. So them learning and then all of a sudden them, going their ways at the end, it just shows, friendships are not last forever and just seeing how, growing up, with them like that, just learning to mature, I will say. Because I will say they were the most mature than like Keith or Sutherland, who
Well, I mean,
just
Keith
basically,
Sutherland was the dime store hood.
yeah.
The best insult I heard of my life. But I was like, yeah, he's like, you dime store hood. I'm like, oh shit. Obviously, I remember I can't think about this movie without the Family Guy parody when they did the Stephen King stories, and they talked about this. He's like, he goes, it
Oh,
was Adam West as Keith Sutherland's character. He's like, no, I'll just, I know where you are in town, so I can find you and just kill you. Like, that's right. I guess it's kind of whole pointless. I don't want to look at my shoulder the rest of my life because like they're like we got to report the dead body to get recognition, and they're like, okay, you can just take it, it's fine.
yeah.
That's all I think. That's what I think about when I watch Dead Body. Like, damn it, because it's the part when Joe got his legs run over eventually. She's like, Trey, another Trey. And I remember that they parodied Stand By Me like twice because they parodied the actual movie itself, and then they parodied when Gordy was writing at the end, and Peter went out to like play this. He's like, "These are my kids." And also, we're not pretending. We're actually fighting right now.
Yeah.
But I think with Stand By Me, it was a success when it came out. Nominated for an Academy Award for Best adapted screenplay and two Golden Globe Awards, Best Motion Picture Drama and Best Director. Um, I don't think this is in the National Film Registry.
It was recognized by I was just gonna say Rolling Stone called Stand By Me a staple of youthful nostalgia, the rare movie that necessarily gets better with time.
That's just I don't know. I just
But I do want to say I forgot to mention and ask you one other thing, but this should be registered, you
yeah, that's what I'm
know,
saying. Yeah, that's weird that it's
with
not.
cinema. But I think eventually some rock like this will eventually I could see being registered, but I think at this point, because of Rob Reiner's legacy, I feel like this is a good film to pick. It'll be either that. I don't know if Harry Met Sally is registered.
It should be.
So,
But actually, there is a fun fact with this. So you know the classic Boys in the Hood, directed by John
yes.
Singleton. There are several references that are directly linked to Stand By Me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so in the beginning of the film, our main characters, when they were kids, they go see a dead body in the hood. And John Singleton stated that
Oh,
he included in the closing out fade out of Doughboy when they said he got shot, he got killed a few weeks later after he buried his brother. That was a direct reference to, the ending of Stand By Me. And John Singleton said that he included the references because he was a fan of the movie,
oh, okay.
which is pretty cool. That's why when the Odyssey comes out, I'm just gonna be in the theater like, man, oh brother, where out thou did it better.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, what did you think of Gordy as a storyteller when he decides to tell the story of Barfarama?
Uh I mean, do we take Gordy as a reliable narrator or is he unreliable narrator?
That's the thing.
Because when you have a story, I think that makes it interesting with these types of movies because we do only follow Gordy because Gordy is making this memoir about the summer.
Yes.
And like you can tell like there's some stories where you're like, okay, do we trust everything you say? Did this all happen the way you said it happened? Because there's some points in the story where Gordy's kind of seen as the guy that's like the cool badass and stuff like that.
Yes.
Um and especially like the ending when he's like he confronted the bull Kiefer Sutherland. He's like, and he's pointing a gun at him. I was like, did that really happen, or did that happen the way you wanted it to happen? So it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. Like there's stuff in here to be like, okay, does that make sense? But you kind of we can't what's the word? We can't call it out because there's no other perspective because he doesn't talk to his other friends, and then one of his friends is dead. So we really don't know what the truth is with that.
No, we don't. Well, you bring up a good point with that. So I didn't even think about that after you said that. So,
Yeah.
but one thing is, I was doing a little more research with me mentioning Rolling Stone. Um, they put out an article and they picked out 8 essential Rob Reiner films. And this is the list. This is Spinal Tap, Stand By
Yes.
Me,
Love Final Tap.
The Princess Bride,
Yes.
When Harry Met Sally,
Yes.
Misery,
Yes.
A Few Good Men,
Mm-hmm.
The American President,
Mm-hmm.
and then closing it out was Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues.
Which was his last movie that came out last year. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and what a way to say, Spinal Tap, this is Spinal Tap is your first film, and then the final film,
Is
Spinal
Spinal
Tap,
Tap.
is
Have you
sad.
have you seen Spinal Tap?
I've seen the first one, but I have not seen the new one that just came out. I
You
want to.
need
I just
to
haven't.
watch it. It
I
is
know I
like
need to watch it at this point because of the legacy of Rob Reiner and just losing him and knowing
well,
that
it's
this is his last
not
film.
not just that. It's just it's generally a good movie because like when we talk about musical parody movies, like we had Pop Star, like everything we've gotten, like CB4 and like Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, and like Dewey Cox, that all leads back to Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, and even the recent Charlie XCX movie, The
Yeah,
Moment.
we don't talk about
I mean, it
that.
was
Was it good?
okay.
I was
It
thinking,
was
was it good?
okay. It was like not. I didn't
She's doing
love
a lot
it.
of movies this year. What the fuck's going on with that? She having
She's
a
like in her creative film era, and
I
I'm
was
here
are we getting
for
a
it.
Charlie XCX era
Yeah.
reboot? And gonna hear that damn song, boom, clap, sound in
Down
my
in my
heart.
heart, the
The beat
beat
goes
goes on and on
on.
and on and on. And on.
But
I
Stand
love
By Me,
that song.
man, it's definitely a classic. And I will say like it is one of like is like I said, it's not Rob Reiner's best. Not to say this, it's not his best film, but it's still a good film because like the thing is like when you go on the run that he did after Stand By Me. Like the fact that you had The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, and then A Few Good Men. Like that run of films that are iconic in pop culture to this day, that is genuinely like some impressive shit right there.
I'm telling you, Rob Reiner from the 80s
To like early
to
90s.
into the 90s, great. Great, great, great. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Rob Reiner. You are so missed.
Yeah, we'll forgive you for being an actor in TV.
Oh my
Don't forget, Rob Reiner had some good roles because I remember when we were like they were trading the tribute to him. I forgot that he was his wasn't he like his dad or like his uncle in Wolf of Wall Street where he just cussed. He's like, "Who the fuck is calling me right now? When I'm in the middle of
Yes.
my cops." That shit was fucking funny.
I forgot he was in Wolf of Wall Street,
That's
to
like
be
because
honest.
he was just cussing his ass off, and I fucking love it, man. Oh my God, he was also in Sandy Wexler, the Adam Sandler
Yes.
movie, which I
Yeah,
still
I
haven't
remember
seen.
that. I
Uh,
remember that. Oh
but
my gosh. I remember, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm gonna have to like go back, but think about it. But he wasn't like he appeared in television.
yes,
Now, I was wrong. At first I thought I was gonna be wrong, but I forgot. He appeared in Hannah Montana and in Wizards of Waverly Place, two of the shows I grew up watching as a kid and just was like, oh my God, what is Rob Reiner doing here? Like the younger kids that I went to school, I did not know who Rob Reiner is, but I did.
I remember when Dolly Parton was on Hannah Montana. I was like, oh,
I'm ready for that Hannah Montana
of
reunion.
course you are.
Mac, we should do a Hannah Montana movie episode, I think.
Oh, about the movie. You know what? I actually would be
The
down for that because
movie.
I remember that movie because I always saw the one trailer. She's like, "Hello, New
New
York," and
York.
it's the feel with the cows. And I was just
And then
like,
there's Lucas Till, who does not make a comeback at all throughout this series. He's just only in the movie and does not make a reappearance at all.
maybe when they do the reunion, we'll do the movie. There's only
Yes,
one.
let's,
There's one. It was that one theatrical movie. Then she had like a theater movie concert.
yeah, concert movie.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana.
It wasn't the movie canon to the reboot they did, Hannah Montana Forever, something like that.
Something like that. I don't even remember, but oh, Hannah Montana, the show that raised a generation of millennials. Okay, but anyways, I think that has to close out Rob Reiner, right, Mac?
Yeah, rest in peace, you lovable lug, man. We will remember all your great films. And like I said, I think my favorite film of his, besides Spinal Tap, because I love Spinal Tap. I love The Princess Bride because
Oh
Andre
yeah.
the Giant. It has the best line where he goes, "Knock it off before I call the Brute Squad. I'm on the Brute Squad. You are, you ain't the Brute Squad."
Did you see the thing that they did years ago where they had all the celebrities come out and they recreated The Princess Bride?
I did not see that now.
Oh my God, that was a thing. It was like it just took me back to the time of when like I'm not saying what the celebrities did was cringy, but it just was like taking me back to the time of when Gal Gadot sang Imagine. Remember that?
Oh,
In
during COVID, yeah, so
2020
everyone's
during
like,
COVID,
"That's
because that's what it came out was during COVID, and all the celebrities were making their portion of the movie at home.
classic."
Yep.
But that's gonna wrap up this episode. We want to thank you all for listening. Kristen, what do we got coming up next cooking?
Okay, we have some exclusives that we can't 100% reveal just yet, but they're going to be exciting. So make sure you follow us. But Mac and I do have some other plans. We plan on doing our Academy Awards predictions episode as we get ready for the 98th Annual Academy Awards. I guess now we're going to have to do a Hannah Montana episode since now we have talked about it, which will be so exciting. But if we are able to do that, but yeah, I think that's all we can admit for now. But we have lots of
Yeah,
other exciting things that we have in the works.
we are excited to get that all out, and of course, we do our own side projects. I got a live stream coming up with the boys. We're gonna be
You're
talking
killing
about
it. You and the boys
our.
are killing it with the live streams. I love watching them.
We're gonna be going over our favorite space films. just in order to celebrate the new Project Hail Mary film, the first Phil Lord and Chris Miller movie coming out in almost 12 years that they're actually directing, not just producing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something. I wonder how Clone High worked out, you bastards. But until next time, we want to thank you all. Make sure you subscribe to us, donate to the Patreon, and make sure you follow us on Instagram. Until next time, I've been Mac, this has been Kristen, and you've been listening to the M&K Productions Podcast. Peace.
Bye.